You remember this moment?
Having a regular 25K model is pointless. Yeah, it would be silly. Like, it would be completely at odds with what we believe.
A $25,000 Tesla? Dead. NV9? Gone. Fans celebrated. The media ran with it. Everyone moved on. But if Tesla canceled its next-generation platform, why do signs of it keep showing up? Because buried inside SEC filings, factory plans, and Tesla's own financial reports is a very different story. And if that is true, then what we're seeing today isn't the restart of NV9. It's a project that may have never left. 1. What has Tesla been hiding for the past 2 years? At the exact same time Elon was saying all of that, Tesla was quietly filing a document with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Q1 2024 Form 8K update, Tesla wrote this: "Our vehicle volume growth rate in 2024 to be notably lower than 2023, as our teams work on the launch of our next-generation vehicle." Wait, what? In the same filing, inside the manufacturing capacity table, there it was in plain black and white: next-gen platform in development. Guess what? While Elon was telling the public that cheap personal cars are silly and Robotaxi is the only future worth caring about, Tesla was simultaneously telling federal regulators that a next-generation vehicle platform was still actively being developed. These are not two versions of the same story. These are two completely different stories being told to two completely different audiences at the same time. What Elon says on stage can shift with strategy, with market sentiment, with whatever narrative Tesla needs that quarter. What Tesla writes in SEC filings cannot. And Tesla never wrote that the next-gen platform was canceled. Not once. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Reuters headlined that senior executives across vehicle programs, engineering, design, and business development put together a formal analysis showing that the affordable car project had a stronger commercial case than betting everything on Robotaxi. They presented this to Musk. He seemed to disagree with the conclusion and moved forward with Robotaxi anyway. Now, you might be thinking, come on, Elon is the boss. Everyone at Tesla obviously agrees with him. Nope, not even close. This wasn't some mid-level employees complaining. These were the heads of the 4 most important departments inside Tesla. They are who actually build the cars, sell the cars, and figure out how to make money from the cars. And they all looked at the data and came to the same conclusion. Tesla still needs an affordable car to grow. So inside Tesla, there were 2 sides. One side believed Robotaxi was the entire future. The other side believed Tesla still needed a car that regular people could actually afford to buy. Musk picked the first camp, and for 2 years, the world went along with it. Now take 3 seconds. If you were sitting in Elon Musk's chair in 2026, would you double down on Robotaxi, or would you bring NV9 back? It's amazing to see who has better business sense than a multi-billionaire. And let's look at what happened after 2 years of going all in on Robotaxi. Tesla's 2025 total revenue was $94.8 billion, down nearly $2.86 billion compared to the year before. The primary driver of that decline? Automotive revenue, the core business. The thing Tesla has always been, shrinking. Then came an even stranger signal. In just 1 quarter, Tesla's inventory jumped from $12.39 billion at the end of 2025 to $14.43 billion by the end of Q1, showing a $2 billion increase in a single quarter. That's not a supply chain story. That's a demand story. Tesla is building cars faster than people are buying. Robotaxi, meanwhile, is still in the pilot phase. It's not generating revenue at any meaningful scale. So the division Musk bet the future on isn't paying the bills yet. And the division that was always paying the bills, selling cars to regular people, is slowing down. Tesla needed a new growth engine. And it turns out that growth engine looks a lot like the thing 4 of their own department heads told them to build 2 years ago. This brings us to the plot twist, the secret restart of the NV9. I found something that honestly stopped me in Tesla's 10K for fiscal year 2025. When Tesla explained where the next wave of production growth would come from, they didn't say Robotaxi. Instead, it comes from advances in autonomy and the introduction of new products built on the next generation vehicle platform, with the specific goal of reducing manufacturing costs and increasing affordability and customer awareness. There it is. Autonomy and new affordable vehicles. Not autonomy, but affordable vehicles. Both. Together. This is Tesla admitting, in the only document where they legally cannot spin the truth, that Robotaxi alone is not enough. They need new cars. They need lower prices. They need to sell to people who aren't already Tesla owners. And that is the real secret restart. For 2 years, Tesla didn't hide the NV9. They hid the fact that they never actually stopped preparing for it. The next-gen platform stayed in the manufacturing table. The internal team kept working.
Looks
the filings
perfect.
kept quietly acknowledging it. Because Tesla knew, even if Musk wouldn't say it out loud, that you cannot run a car company on the promise of self-driving taxis alone. The NV9 is back because Robotaxi cannot replace the millions of people who just want to own a car. And Tesla, at every level below the public stage, always knew that.
But even if the NV9 does return, how will it change the amount of money Tesla buyers have to spend?
If you enjoy stories where the answers lie in the legal documents rather than on the product launch stage, subscribe to autogearshift so you don't miss the next analysis.
2. How could the NV9 actually change the math on buying a Tesla?
What's fascinating is that Tesla isn't building just one version of this cheaper car. They're running multiple development tracks simultaneously. There's the E41 project in China, reportedly targeting at least a 20% reduction in manufacturing costs compared to the current Model Y. Reuters separately described a smaller SUV, about 14 feet long, nearly 20 inches shorter than the Model Y. That could be the global version. The details may shift, but every single direction they're exploring has one thing in common: cut the cost of building the car as aggressively as possible. Now, when you hear 20 inches shorter, what do you think? Let me guess. Okay, less legroom, whatever, right? But Tesla sees a smaller battery, less wiring, fewer materials, fewer factory hours, and potentially more than $1,000 saved from the battery pack alone. That's the part most people miss. The real goal may not be building a smaller Tesla, it may be making Tesla ownership feel affordable again. And here's the part that'll flip how you think about a smaller battery. If your daily round trip is under 60 miles, you are paying for battery capacity you never touch, every single day. What the NV9 is really offering isn't less range. It's a car that's been sized to what people actually need, instead of what looks impressive on a spec sheet.
How many people actually need the biggest battery available here?
Are you so? That reframe matters more than people realize. Because when you stack it against a $40,000 Model Y, a $5,000 to $8,000 price difference sounds like a decent discount, but it doesn't stop at the sticker. That gap affects how much you borrow, how much interest you pay to the bank over 5 years, and how fast the car loses value in the first 2 years of ownership, which for most financed vehicles is when depreciation hits hardest. And here's the detail that I think is the most telling signal of everything Tesla is doing right now. If Tesla genuinely believed Robotaxi was going to replace personal car ownership in the next few years, they would have zero reason to obsess over shaving costs on a mass-market vehicle. Zero. Why optimize every dollar out of a car that's about to become obsolete? But that's exactly what they're doing with the NV9. That's not proof that Robotaxi is failing. It's proof that Tesla sees tens of millions of people who are going to keep buying and owning their own cars for a long time, and Tesla wants to be the company selling to them.
3. How do we avoid buying a Tesla at the wrong time?
There are really only 2 situations you're in right now. If your current car is falling apart, costing you repair bills every other month, or you genuinely need to replace it within the next 6 to 12 months. The Model Y is still a solid buy. It's a finished, proven product, and Tesla has every incentive to keep moving inventory while they're waiting on new models to ramp. Transition periods like this are historically when the best financing deals, the biggest incentives, and the most negotiating leverage show up.
But remember,
don't buy a new Model Y now. Tesla has 27 days of supply sitting in inventory. That's the highest it's been in 5 consecutive quarters. When a car company is stacking up unsold vehicles, they don't hold the line on price forever. Wait 2 or 3 quarters, and that same Model Y will almost certainly come with a better deal attached to it. And if you need something sooner than that, a 2023 or 2024 Model Y on the used market at $28,000 to $33,000 is genuinely one of the smartest buys in the EV space right now. You're saving $7,000 to $12,000 instantly on a car that's barely broken in. On the flip side, if your current car still does everything you need it to do, waiting may be the smartest financial decision. The reason isn't simply that NV9 could be cheaper. When a lower-cost Tesla enters the market, it doesn't just create a new option, it puts pressure on everything above it. A used Model Y suddenly has to compete with a brand new NV9. Tesla has to justify the price gap. And history shows that when a cheaper alternative arrives, the people who paid top dollar beforehand often lose more from changing market values than from anything that happens to the car itself. Even if Tesla unveils the NV9 in 2027, that doesn't mean 2027 will be the best time to buy one.
Tesla's playbook has been remarkably consistent. Launch first, drive volume later.
The biggest financial advantage usually appears when production ramps up. Factories become more efficient, and hundreds of thousands of units are rolling off the line. That's why the date that really matters may not be the reveal event. It may be the moment Tesla proves it can build NV9 at scale.
But if the NV9 is important enough for Tesla to quietly keep it running for 2 years amidst news about the Robotaxi, what role does Tesla really expect this vehicle to play in the next decade?
What is Tesla really planning beyond a more affordable electric car? Stay tuned to AutoGearshift. There's much more to uncover behind this NV9 plan.